2 kings crowned in the Scotiabank Junior Monarch competition. A concerted effort ongoing to tackle the influx of sargassum seaweed. And in sports, the Windies ready to put the third test debacle behind them for tonight's first T20 against Australia.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Welcome to CBC NewsNight. I'm Kimberly Skeet. It was quite a show at the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium as Mr. Showman successfully defended his soca competition crown last night, while Kincaid won the Calypso segment. The two were announced winners in the Scotiabank Junior Monarch competition in the wee hours of this morning. Our Anesta Henry has that story.
Fireworks, top-notch presentations, and lyrical renditions accompanied by a sweet-sounding band and backup singers. This was the 2025 Junior Monarch Calypso and the Soca competition, in which 16 contestants battled for the top spots. It was a keen contest, and at the end of the night, when the results were tabulated, Kimani Mr. Showman Devonish defended his crown in the Soca category with his song When I Reach. And in the Calypso competition, Kadarius Kincaid Allen won with Fake It Till You Make It. A 13-year-old law school student, Kincaid placed second last year, but this time around he brought his A game to the stage and secured the top spots.
All the hard work have paid off, and I feel excited. A lot of practice, a lot of rehearsals, and just gearing up myself for this moment.
Kincaid says his piece, penned by Dondre Ford and arranged by Mark Husbands, was a tribute to his friend and former schoolmate who died as a result of gun violence earlier this year.
Based on my lifestyle and my friend that passed, Jonathan's Chase. It still doesn't feel real to me, but I feel sad and just that I lost my friend.
Mr. Showman put on a great show for the audience and judges with his energetic performance from start to finish. He says he is overjoyed to reclaim his Soca Monarch title, with his song written by Michael Mikey Mercer and arranged by Randy Eastman.
I was like, all right, let me see who will come second. Then when it comes second, I was like, huh? I win again? I wasn't expecting it. I just feel amazing. That's the truth.
And Mr. Showman is crediting his presence in the House of Soca Calypso tent for helping him to prepare for Junior Monarch.
Last year I was not in the tent. So this year I felt like I had the opportunity to express myself more and literally get ready for the show.
Coming in second in the Soca competition was AJ with Capture This Energy, and he was followed by Nayara with her song We Love It. In the Calypso competition, Master Kajay came second with Send a Helping Hand, while Slay with her song Hurt was third. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
Congratulations to them both. Band leader Nanette Worrell has walked away with half of the main prizes and awards for private bands in the 2025 Junior Kadooment competition. Her band Zante secured first place in 11 of the 22 categories, including Best Junior Band, Most Colorful Band, Folklore, and Fantasy. The National Library Service took 3 top prizes, among them the BMA Brands of Barbados Award. The Fifth Element Band placed first in 2 categories. Among the schools and community bands, the Pineland Creative Workshop won 10 of the top prizes and awards. These included Best Community Band and Most Colorful Band. Ellerton Primary School placed first in 4 categories, while Roland Edwards Primary School secured 3 top spot positions. Removal of the pesky sargassum seaweed at Consett St. John has started in an effort to give fisherfolk and residents some relief. However, officials of the National Seaweed Cleanup project are predicting a long road ahead as the seaweed clogs beaches along the coast. Or Anesta Henry and videographer Anderson Arthur journeyed to St. John early this morning to capture the cleanup operation at that location.
The sargassum seaweed harvester is clearing the water at Consett Bay St. John. Workmen on the National Seaweed Cleanup project are also utilizing other heavy-duty equipment to assist in the effort. After 2 days of the harvester reaping at the bay, the water is much clearer than it was this time last week. But mechanic operator of the seaweed equipment, Omar Greenwich, says it is not an easy task getting the influx under control.
It's not as easy as people may think it is, because Consett is a very rough water and you have to contend with the wind and the wave action. All right? The wind and the wave action is very difficult up here.
So how many times have you?
I would say between yesterday and today, we had about a truckload and a half, about that. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because the equipment, it works well, but the wave action makes it very difficult to deal with.
While unable to say exactly how much seaweed was removed from the area over the past few days, Greenwich says it was a large quantity. But more seaweed is sailing in, as is happening at other bays and sections of the coast. Mr. Greenwich is unable to say when the team's tasks will be completed on that part of the island.
That's very hard to say. I could very well come here tomorrow, all this sargassum gone. I could come back here tomorrow and I could go out mountains. It's very hard for me to say. Very, very hard at this time.
According to him, the coming weeks for the cleanup team may be as rough as the seas, with manpower and equipment stretched to all.
Right now, the South Coast has quite a bit, and we can look at there as well. I know I heard reports that Hilton has a lot, Silver Sands crying out. I think Sandals have some too. It is rough going, and from reports from the fishermen is that we got a lot of moss above the land coming down. So it's going to be an upward battle.
Last week, fisherfolk at Consett Bay lamented the large clumps of seaweed were preventing them from getting to and from their boats. While they too agree clearing the sea completely is not an easy task, they are pleased to see the harvester at work. One fisherman who requested anonymity is breathing a sigh of relief the slipway is being cleared with the hurricane season ongoing.
Taking up the seaweed is okay, because if you see the state of how it stopped there now, you got to swim through that there, number one, and the boats can't haul down or haul up when so much seaweed is there. So that is okay.
Government spent almost $300,000 to acquire the seaweed harvester, a tractor and other equipment several years ago to assist with the seaweed cleanup efforts. Onesta Henry, CBC News.
Coming up, the NCF continuing to promote culture and creativity among the youth. 6 secondary school students who competed in the school's rep competition have been given the opportunity to work with producers to have their music recorded for Cropover 2025. This was made possible through a project spearheaded by the National Cultural Foundation, which continues to promote culture and creativity among our youth. The final recordings were released to the public during the media launch of the NCF's School Rep Showcase at the Queen's Park Art Gallery. NCF's Chief Executive Officer Carol Roberts says the foundation remains committed to supporting artistic endeavors.
Programs such as this and other programs that the foundation endorse gives light to that and says you are good at something. You're really good at something. And that something can earn you a living. And that something can make you feel valid and valuable and worthy. That's what this program is about, and that is why we are so pleased to support it. So this afternoon, we are not only going to play, but you're going to hear from the producers and the performers of the chants that have been developed into music. You can look forward to hearing it at Junior Kadooment and beyond.
The National Cultural Foundation is also endorsing young artist Rico Grateful Co. Gaskin's remake of Senator John King's How Many More. Senator King is commending Grateful Co. for delivering a modern version of the song at this point in the country's history.
And that particular song, I hope that as you go through the journey, you will come to the realization that I came to probably very late in my life, but I came to it. Having seen people cry in various parts of the world when I sang that song, having people walk up to me and actually almost like in tears, especially when they themselves had lost someone to gun violence. And I'll tell you this, my brother, as you move through that journey, it will change you.
Hundreds of sea turtle eggs were saved recently by a team of Barbados Sea Turtle Project members patrolling the south coast. But the pesky sargassum seaweed, which has invaded the island shores once again, continues to pose a threat to the sea creatures. Rochelle Agard has that story.
Since the month of July started, the Barbados Sea Turtle Project has been inundated with calls of hatchlings and eggs spotted along the island's coasts. In turn with the project, Simone Merchant says it gets busy at this time of year as it is the nesting season, which runs from May to October. However, she says the sargassum seaweed is problematic and prevents some of the turtles from reaching the shore to lay their eggs. Similarly, the seaweed poses a threat to hatchlings trying to get to the sea. And in some cases, they become stuck and eventually fall asleep due to exhaustion.
Sargassum, they don't necessarily pose a greater threat than predation by mongoose or predation from crabs or cats or dogs or rats. But they have become a growing concern because of the amount of sargassum that is seen along the coast. So sargassum, when there's a lot of sargassum, it gets washed up on the beach, as we know, and it can prevent turtles from coming up onto the beach. Most times, the nesting female is very determined and she will crawl over the sargassum.
When CBC caught up with them on Sandy Beach, Christchurch, they were busy relocating 2 nests which were discovered with over 100 eggs each. Ms. Merchant says the exercise involves carefully removing eggs, counting them, and taking them safely to another location on the beach to hatch.
We dig a relocation hole. So the relocation hole is really supposed to be similar to the turtle when she comes up onto the beach and she digs her hole and lays her eggs. So we would dig it to around the same depth as a turtle nest is, approximately, and we would shape the egg chamber in such a way where the eggs sit comfortably, and then we'd cover the eggs over. We'll write up a nest stick with all of the information regarding these cases, the nests and how many eggs were in there and which interns were relocated this nest and the date that we estimate the eggs were laid and the date that we record these eggs.
Ms. Merchant adds that during the nesting season, there is a lot of activity on the beaches, and she is urging beachgoers to contact them at 230-0142 to secure the eggs, hatchlings, or turtles. Rochelle Agard, CBC News.
Good evening with Sports Night. I'm Mark Seal. West Indies will be looking to get over the devastating historic loss to Australia in the recently concluded third test by starting out with a win tonight in the first T20 International against the same opposition. Australia will be fielding some different players, but Windies skipper Shea Hope is clear that the challenge will be just as tough. Nonetheless, he's banking on recent home form in the white ball format.
I think they're number 2 now in the world. They've showcased why they're there, and it's important for us to raise our game, especially coming off of that tough loss there in the Test series. But that's in the past. We got to ensure that we're covering our bases, look from within more so than the opposition to start. But we know what they're capable of. They're very quality players, and it's important for us to not take anything lightly. Yes, we've been successful in our home court for quite some series now, but that doesn't mean that we're going to be guaranteed a win. So we have to make sure we play our best cricket, start the series well, and hopefully can finish even better.
Play in that first T20 begins at 8 p.m. It'll be live on MCTV's ESPN channel and also on CBC Radio 94.7 FM. In more cricket news, the crowned champions are back home after capturing their first title in the Women's West Indies Rising Stars Under-19 Championship in Trinidad and Tobago yesterday. The players were greeted by family, friends and local cricket officials at the Grant Tilly Adams International Airport today, led by BCA Vice President Calvin Hope and newly appointed CEO Paul Skinner. Not only did the Barbados team play undefeated, but they had to recover after their first two matches were washed out.
We worked really hard to get to this point. Over the past few years, we weren't victorious, but I think we went back to the drawing board and we really showed our skills and showed our worth and came out first place. Players such as Nijani Cumberbatch, Asabi Calendar, Aaron Dean, and our captain, Tiani Herbert-Mayers, who isn't here with us at the moment, they played a very big part in our success. They have knowledge of the game that you can only gain from experience. And they've played at the international level, the senior level, and it played a really big part in our success.
Head coach Robin Paris is proud of the first-time winners and has linked the success to the Young Gems program, which groomed some of the players.
Pathway system with the Young Gems targets primary schools, secondary schools, girls who are interested in cricket. Trying to let them see that there's a career in cricket. So this win is dedicated to the Young Gems, obviously to show them the way that they can develop into players. From that Young Gems program, we have Judea Holder, young McAllister, Zoe McAllister. They both came through, started at the Young Gems. So they're evidence that the Young Gems program is working. They've graduated up to under 19, so that's the path that we want to go.
Meanwhile, new CEO noted women's cricket is definitely progressing.
Women's sport is, in general in the Caribbean, is developing, and as we produce more role models, it will attract more young ladies into the respective sports. And in cricket in particular, we're seeing again some examples of that young talent under 19 that performed well yesterday. They will have younger siblings or people at their schools that they attended who those youngsters will now look up to. They say, look at what Colin Moores did, Herbert Haynes did, and how they, captain and vice captain, how they progressed, and look at what they've done. They brought home a title. I can do this too.
4 centuries were struck in the opening round of the 2025 BCA Super Cup today. Defending champs Wildy started their campaign with a 7-wicket win over Gladiola at Rice's. The hosts were bowled out for 138 before Wildy reached the target on 139 for 3. Now over at Desmond Haynes Oval, Linico Boucher struck 147 not out as hosts Carlton registered a 256-run win over Isolation Cavaliers. Scores there, Carlton 352 for 6, Cavaliers 96. At Trent's, Edwin Currency smashed 107 to help YMPC to a 131-run win over Maple. YMPC 261, Maple 130. At Kensington Oval, Omar Phillips got 132 as Boscobel beat BCA Youth by 40 runs. Boscobel 227, BCA Youth 187. At Bank Hall, Amari Goodrich scored 121 in a losing cause as Windward fell by 96 runs to Empire. Empire 311, Windward 215. At Foursquare Oval, Pickwick surrendered to the visiting Police team by 3 wickets. Pickwick 234 for 7, Police 235 for 7. At Friendship, Yorkshire held on for a 1-run win over UWI. Yorkshire 222, UE 221. And at Darrell's Road, hosts Wanderers crushed Lords by 9 wickets. Lords 67, Wanderers 68 for 1. Now the match between Spartan and St. Catherine, that has been rescheduled for August 10th. Moving on now to cycling, where Ariel Graves has set a new national junior record. Competing at the Junior Pan American Track Cycling Championships in Peru, Graves set the new mark in the flying 200-meter time trial yesterday. The record is now 11.80 seconds. That clocking was good enough for Graves to place 4th overall and be the highest placed competitor from the English-speaking Caribbean. She also reached a top speed of 61 kilometers per hour. The winner was Valeria Hernandez of Colombia in 11.227 seconds, followed by Mariana Perez, also of Colombia, and third, Mitchell Manzi of Venezuela.
That's our news for tonight. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your night. I'm Kimberly C.